Welcome everyone to Nitro Maniac TV's wrestling channel. I'm Kellen Nitro. At the other end of the line is the Moorhouse, CDN, as he's known on Twitter, or as I call him, Moorhouse.
Hi!
So, it's WrestleMania season. It's always that fun time of year where we get to pull out the card and play Fantasy Booker and compare our booking to what WWE has decided to give us for the grandest stage of them all, which is happening again in New Orleans 4 years after they had it in New Orleans. I don't know why they booked it that way. That's an argument in itself, but I'll just go ahead and summarize it like this. Once a city hosts WrestleMania, there should be a 5-year limit on bids from that city to host WrestleMania. Every other professional sports league does that. If you have a special event in one city, they can't host it for another 5 years.
I think Kellen's getting sick of New York, New Orleans, and Miami, and Phoenix WrestleManias.
It's like a circuit. Yeah, that's it. There's new stadiums being built all across the country and that stuff. You got a brand new stadium in Minneapolis. I did the video on what I'd like to see going forward in 20 and 21 with WrestleMania being used on the West Coast, with Vegas definitely, and Los Angeles for sure. And yeah, you have that new stadium that's built in Minneapolis as well, and you got newly refurbished stadiums like in Vancouver and in Seattle as well, and
or do something crazy and do London.
That's, pie in the sky right there. Exactly. That's a major media center too, guys. Not everybody knows that, but if you're talking worldwide media, London is a major media center too. And Vince, you have money. Why don't you just one more act of defiance to everybody and the internet and everything? Put WrestleMania in the Tokyo Dome and just say, "Hey, New Japan, I'm here with my main event of Shinsuke and AJ. Wow."
And then Monday Night Raw in the hall next door.
Crooked Hall, yeah. Could you imagine? Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be neat. But anyways, so fantasy booking time. Moorhouse sent me a list again, and you guys love the videos when Moorhouse sends me lists, and we debate the lists and that stuff. So this list is what Moorhouse had decided. I guess it'd be the WrestleMania you would watch with the current talent. Is that what
the current kind of storylines, the current talent, and if they hired a fixer. Okay,
so hypothetically, they've hired Moorhouse as the fixer, so now he's fixing everything. Moorhouse, I guess we'll start from the bottom here with the pre-show. And you have a pretty jacked pre-show here. You have a number one contender Raw Tag Team title, a number one contendership, I should say. There we go. Number one contender for Raw Tag Team titles. And you have in parentheses, winner fights at Raw. This would be for the Raw the next night on Monday, right?
They get the main event spot next Monday.
Wow. So you'd give them the main event spot the Monday after WrestleMania.
Yeah, and the main event match. There could be an angle after that.
Okay, gotcha. So in the last hour.
Yeah.
So you have Dash and Dawson versus the Club versus Broken Hardy and Broken Wyatt? Say what?
I think something's going to happen on Monday.
Okay, so you think that the Hardys and the Wyatt and Bray Wyatt are going to come to some sort of civil joining of terms here and that stuff?
Yeah, I have a belief for my feelings, because kayfabe, Jeff fucked up. Or sorry, I won't use that word. Jeff screwed up.
That's fine.
They're gonna put Braze and Jeff in Brother Nero spot.
I'm going to still keep that in anyway. But yeah, okay. So that makes, you know what? Hey, you're faking logically with WWE and that stuff, and I'd look at that there and say that, hey, this is a very awesome looking add-on. It'd be a nice little feature to the pre-show for sure. Mm-hmm. The only real issue I have with this is, if the whole original plan still goes through with Matt and Jeff reuniting to going against Bray Wyatt, it kind of just spits in the face of that. But, with the current situation,
you could fit Jeff in there still and then have Wyatt and Jeff start to fight like I'm the better follower.
I think they kind of did that last year with Orton, and it ended in arson. That's why I'm scared of it. That's why. Yeah, well, everybody knows how much I love arson.
This time it will be Matt running this town, though.
Yeah. Okay. So that's it's again, the whole reasoning behind this video is pie in the sky, but
it's just thinking,
just faking.
And I think the Brokens would go over here.
Yeah. And then the next 3 matches here that you have are the 2 Battle Royals and the Cruiserweight Finals. Yeah. So how would you present this? Because you'd have... Would the number 1 contendership go first and then the 2 Battle Royals and then the Cruiserweight Finals kind of sandwich in between the 2 Battle Royals?
So you don't get Battle Royaled out.
Right.
I'd do the number 1 contender, then the Andre, then the Cruiser, then the women.
That fits in what they're doing. Yeah, because they're really pushing the women for equality here and that stuff, and really pushing their brand, I guess, out there to see. And you could have your returns to really pop the pre-show a little bit with, Trish, maybe Lita again, stuff like that. Added in there and just do it. Nikki Bella, etc. Blah blah blah. So hey, your pre-show is actually fairly solid. The only real issue I have with the pre-show is one of those 2 Battle Royals ultimately is going to end up on the main card.
They've never done a Battle Royal on the main card though. That's why I'm not sure.
They did the first year.
The first one, yes.
The first year for WrestleMania 30, they did the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. That was part of the main card. That was the one that Cesaro won. So that'll be a lot. That'll be, I think, if they do put it main card, it'll be first hour or so. So, so yeah. So there we go. All right, moving forward. So you have a U.S. title freeway match with Orton, Mahal, and Bobby Roode opening the WrestleMania show.
Yes, I do that because that's, I think, you can start with a title match, but not a world title match, and it's the feud that they're already kind of circling around.
I agree with that so much that I'm not going to debate it or anything. It's just a great move. You have it as the opener. Fantastic. It's not on the pre-show. It's the opening match. Great stuff.
Yeah, it's like the supporting actor award always goes first at the Oscar.
Yep. And you can have ballistic openers, like, what was it, Mania 31 in San Francisco a few years ago, well, San Jose, I should say. You had that ladder match that Daniel Bryan won for the Intercontinental title, and it was just ballistic from top to bottom. It was good. The problem was they had that real ballistic tag title match on the pre-show just before, too. So and in the Battle Royal, so it was kind of like boom, 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 and you're like,
you're exhausted. You need a break.
You're exhausted at that point. They built too much momentum at the first part of their show, that show that year, and just it was hard to really build it up after. They did a good job of it towards the end, and the ending of the main event is still one of my most favorite moments in WrestleMania history. But then you have a gimmick match.
Yes.
Mr. Russo.
I have a gimmick match, so I'll explain it. I have a guitar on a pole match featuring John Cena and his WrestleMania moment, which I think is Elias, just because they've had Elias go over clean on him a couple times now. Mm-hmm. And I'm still doubtful, even today, if The Undertaker's going to be there.
Yeah.
With this, you have Elias. John Cena finally beat Elias, which he hasn't done yet. And you could throw in a Hall of Famer, Jeff Jarrett, in there to also, do some guitar shots.
Broke 1,000 guitars, never drew a dime until that night at WrestleMania when everybody was, and everybody's breaking guitars and that stuff. And then you can have Elias have his 10-minute sing-along segment just prior to, because you have like up to hours of freaking, content to fill for the network that night. And even though the shows are too damn long as they are, they like to do that anyway. So playing that,
he gets to do his song and then he gets to job. Yep.
There we go. So, I like it. I don't like the gimmick, but I like having Cena and Elias go one-on-one. I think that that's something that's been kind of swept under the rug here. I think that they had a very hot rivalry going into the Rumble, and I think that that should continue on with what we will see at Mania now. Will it? I don't think so in real life, but in your card, the way you have it, great. Awesome.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
Then right after we get
hang on.
Bathroom break match.
Hang on.
All
right, go for it.
Are you lost?
I got a better view of it now. We'll just put it that way. Okay.
So right after we have bathroom break relax match. The Usos, who haven't been on a WrestleMania forever, finally get booked on a WrestleMania against the Bludgeon Brothers and their giant hammers.
Surprising here that you don't have the New Day involved in this, but that's just because you have the New Day in a spot later on in the card that I'll wait for you to explain. But it's great. It's good. I have again no problems with it. It is where it is, and I think
it's what they're booking. It's I mean, it's not exciting, but it's there.
Right. All right. Your next one, Intercontinental title.
Yep, I scrap everyone except Finn Balor and The Miz in the current Intercontinental match.
Okay.
But I also bring in the Miz, Taraj, and the Club to do some outside interference, and we get Demon Finn by himself.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, because you'd think that for WrestleMania, you'd want to bust that part of his gimmick out. That would be a lot of fun. This is one where I vehemently disagree with for your booking and that stuff. Just because if you're going to work in these guys there, I think this is a golden opportunity to bring in something that WWE tried out last year, Survivor Series weekend. I think you scrap the Intercontinental title entirely. You do Miz Taraj versus the Club in a War Games match.
But Vinnie Mac hates War Games.
You have the room, you have the infrastructure now for it. I think that's what I would love to see that with all of those guys, all 6 of those guys, and it's a 6-man War Games, which is, I guess, the route they want to do now with it.
Absolutely, they could do that, or they could. I know there's been talk about doing a 6-man tag title someday in WWE, so this could be an opportunity to do that too with the same War Games tip.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a thing. It's like I said, it's a disagreement, but that's just because it's fantasy booking. You have different things going on at the same time. But I don't mind that whatsoever. That's right there. I vehemently disagree with it. That wouldn't be on mine, but with what you got, okay.
Yeah,
I could see the reasoning behind it and that stuff. So, okay, I'll let you read out what you got because the switching between windows here is getting monotonous.
Get 2 screens. 2 screens is great.
I know. I don't have the infrastructure over here for 2 screens yet.
So next I have the SmackDown Women's title, unchanged. I think it's fine.
Okay.
What they're doing right now, I wouldn't change a thing.
Charlotte and Asuka.
Yep.
The only thing I would do is maybe add a no disqualification stipulation to it. Let's get an absolute winner here between the 2 of them. Because the way they have it right now as a singles match, it opens the door for something something cheap to end Asuka's streak with. Somebody strutting down the ringside with a cattle prod or something, and or other things. Maybe they redo the thing from this Tuesday in Texas, or no, it was Survivor Series 91, where Flair walks out with a chair hidden in his robe and puts it there, and Charlotte tombstones Asuka. Maybe that's the finish to it. I would love to see a no disqualification, no count out clause to it, and that stuff. And that way you could if that happens, then that way that's allowed in the match, itself, right?
Or they've done Shark Cage a lot lately, so they can put Flair in the Shark Cage.
I don't like going woo high in the air. I'm gonna go woo high in the air. To see him just doing a whole Ric Flair. No, I have visions of him in the Shark Cage just completely losing it like he did, and just disrobing in gross. Just disrobing in the cage, just freaking woo.
There's his WrestleMania moment.
Bad. That would be terrible. That would be so gross.
But yeah, for the most part, it's fine. It's the right match for her, Asuka. I have no problem with it.
Okay, cool.
Next, I have a match that I've changed significantly to hide weaknesses of a certain wrestler involved in it.
Okay.
I booked Rousey, Angle, Rollins, and Strowman against McMahon, Triple H, and The Bar.
So an 8-man tag.
Yeah. An 8-man tag where you can hide Ronda's... she's a little green still, so you can hide that a bit better. Also, the 3 men fighting against Triple H all have had beef with him in the last year.
Yeah, okay. I can see that on that side of the equation. I think that, and this is one where I vehemently disagree, just because you have too much star talent in one match. That's all it is. I think if you knock the sides down and make it a 6-man, I think that would be very plausible and very doable. A mixed 6-man with, maybe just Strowman, Rollins, and Rousey versus
The Bar and Triple H.
The Bar and...
Or the Health Cesaro, Triple H and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. And then you could...
Sheamus is a little limited.
And then you have the opportunity to advertise, hey, this is the first intergender 6-man tag we've ever booked, And that, Ronda Rousey, who's this badass from UFC, is going to come in, doesn't take any guff from anybody, and rather than have a mixed tag thing, I know they're trying to push the mixed tag thing, but, that's the whole idea, so, yeah. I don't have a problem with the lady being involved in there. I have a problem with the amount of star talent you have locked up in that match. That's all.
And that's the only problem here is we're going into WrestleMania, and yeah, Rollins isn't really involved in much right now storyline wise. I mean, he's in the 3-way Intercontinental match, but he's the afterthought in that one.
Yeah.
And then Braun, they just put him into a tag team angle on Monday because he had nothing going on.
Which means if he's the afterthought, he's probably walking out of Mania with the Intercontinental title.
And Braun's walking with the tag teams, yeah.
Yeah, so... So your way too early WrestleMania prediction is there's no partner for Strowman. He's just walking in and taking both tag belts.
Yeah. Okay.
Mark that down, folks. I still think Strowman's got a partner, but I think that it's going to be a very if Ellsworth was with the company still, I would have pegged Ellsworth as his partner.
Slater Gator?
Yeah. Almost like it'd be like a Cactus Jack Mikey Whipwreck thing. Where
he'll just take Kurt Hawkins breaks his streak at WrestleMania. There you go.
I mean, now we're finding use for Ellsworth again. It's like, bring Strowman in and I got to think about that. That might be, when we do the actual prediction show of what's going to happen. I think that might be a prediction of mine that I might roll out. You've heard it here first, by the way. So, all right, what else you got?
We got the Raw Women's. It's unchanged. It's Bliss and Jax. That's what they're going with. That's the appropriate feud. We'll see.
Again, I think what they should do with both women's title matches at Mania, no count out, no disqualification, must be a winner. Let's do it.
Yeah, because you'll have Mickey involved in this one.
Absolutely. Yep. But I think with that one, I'd book somebody to be on Nia's side as well. Maybe a Bailey, maybe a Sasha, something like that.
Yep, exactly. But I mean, it's appropriate feud. I wouldn't change anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
The next one, it's controversial. It's the only other one that I really messed around with, and I broke up the Owens Zane match, and I instead made it a 6-man tag.
Okay.
I put Owens, Zane, and fanboy Daniel Bryan against Shane O'Mac and the New Day.
Wow.
Why do I do this? You get Daniel Bryan a match, which he's been wanting, but it's a match where you can hide him and he doesn't have to be in the ring for 20 minutes. He can be in the ring for like 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, and just do spots with guys. The New Day works safe. I wouldn't put them in the ring with Shane. I'd keep them
I'll put them separate for a future event, but you could have the New Day work against Bryan.
Yeah.
I put New Day with McMahon because New Day is a product of McMahon, and they're always at events with the McMahon family.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And Owens and Zane fighting each other doesn't make sense, especially with the angles they're doing.
No, because we all know that by the time Mania comes around, Owens and Zane will not be fighting each other. This will be, there'll be something involved here and that stuff where they're going to be on the same side. Unless you want to put them in like a number 1 contenders match at Mania for the WWE Championship, and there's a finger poke of doom scenario. just because.
No, to me this makes the most sense with the storyline they're going with, and it gives New Day a bigger match. And with Woods hurt, I mean, they're a little limited too.
I disagree with it just because you have already how many multi-man matches on here? You have quite a few
2
multi-man matches. You got 2 on the main card.
But remember what my favorite promotion is New Japan, where most of the matches are multi-man matches.
That was going to be the big revelation I was going to say about this list at the end of the video, is that congratulations, Moorhouse. You've booked this card for a Wrestle Kingdom. Unfortunately, this is WrestleMania we are talking about, and the WWE just don't do logic like that anymore.
That's how New Japan handles their roster, because they have more than they can show on a card, so they throw them in multi-man matches.
Yeah. Notice how I'm saying it's not the better way. I think the way New Japan books their talent and that stuff and their matches is infinitely better than what WWE is doing right now. I'm just saying this isn't WWE booking. This is New Japan booking. Is what you got.
You could check my Twitter. You know I'm a New Japan guy.
It's not as if he's as he sits there with the Bullet Club T-shirt.
I joined the club. They inducted me last weekend.
Bullet Club's got like 17 million members now. So
speaking of which, anyone want to go to Chicago?
Moorhouse is all in. There we go. All right, so if somebody's got Photoshop skills out there and is a huge fan of the channel, you could grab that all-in graphic and just get a headshot of Moorhouse. Grab that headshot from when we introduced him, and he's all in. There we go.
Okay.
Or that one shot of him from the intro video, or from the year in review. I think you were wearing the Los Ingobernables T-shirt.
Yeah.
Doing the Destino thing, the Nitro Destino.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna wear that.
Nitro won't be there, but Moorhouse will. So, anyways, all right.
Finally, we got unchanged Raw title, unchanged SmackDown title. Mm-hmm. With the Raw title, there's no way you can fix it. That's just the way it's going to be.
That's all it is. Yeah. But you have SmackDown. You have SmackDown title as the main event.
I do.
Okay.
Also, I hate to disappoint people, but I don't think Shinzei's going to win it.
Ooh, that's a minority decision there.
It's a very
minority decision, and you know what? I agree with you. I think AJ. I think there's a lot to be gained from a rematch with WWE, which would be the third in a trilogy, because in the match that WWE doesn't want you to know about, or doesn't talk about, doesn't reference, the one-time mythical battle in the Land of the Rising Sun, which only was a couple years ago anyway. Shinsuke beat AJ for the IWGP Intercontinental title. Well, he was the champion. He retained. Shinsuke was the champion walking, and he retained it. I just watched the match again, a few nights ago. Fantastic encounter. Yeah, and I think that if they go forward and they put on the same type of presentation they did at Wrestle Kingdom, 30 minutes nonstop with the theatrics, and AJ was selling his back throughout the thing and just being devious and that stuff. Somebody's got to be the heel here. I don't think Shinsuke can be a heel at this point yet, but I know for damn sure AJ as a heel is money. So let him turn heel during that match. Just slowly turn him. Do
a Bret Hart Stone Cold thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think AJ will retain, and then go on to more feuds because he is the face that runs the place.
And where do you see the Raw thing going?
Oh, it's going to Reigns. Everyone and their dog know that Brock's done.
You don't think there's going to be an 11th hour thing plugged there, and that's that? No. Anyway,
this isn't CM Punk.
These are all things that we should be honestly discussing for the WrestleMania preview show, which will be coming up a couple weeks from now anyway. So, but Moorhouse, thanks again. This was actually a fun list. But yeah, like I said, the big reason why I disagree with, I guess not as much of a majority as I thought at first, but the big reason why I disagree with it, that you have it there, is you have it booked as a New Japan card, not so much as a WWE card. And WWE always tries to cater to kids first and rest of the world behind. I've noticed now with their booking.
So I'm going to scrap this event. I'm going to redo it. Roman's going to beat Brock. He's going to beat AJ. He's going to beat Charlotte. He's going to beat the Usos, and he's going to be the 9-crown champion.
There's that GIF going around the internet, or that photo, I should say, of him with all the belts. Just like push him to the moon, strap the rocket to him. Wow.
He also won the Andre Battle Royal, the Cruiserweight Final,
the Women's Battle Royal.
Yeah. And he's getting my number 1 contender Raw Tag Team title match next week.
By the way, if you were booking that Cruiserweight tournament, who would you have in the finals?
To be honest, I didn't pay attention to it. Let me just do a quick. I'm not googling.
And I guess I should have asked if you didn't mention them before with the 2 Battle Royals, who you'd have pegged as winners, but.
Who is it? Gulak, Ali, and Alexandra, I guess, still?
Yeah. I mean, you could go with their current, the current 3 that they have figured into the mix, or you can go back through the roster and grab, or go back through the thing and grab a couple of guys.
Here's the problem with 205 Live.
Okay.
I don't watch it because it's just too much product.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
They have good talent. The only guy I really like is Jack Gallagher, and he was put out in the first round.
I would have kept TJP in till at least the semis myself, and then Gulak on the other side, I would have made him kind of slowly turn face throughout the tournament. So in the final, we would have had TJP and Gulak go 1-on-1. And I would have had TJP win the match under some sort of nefarious means, whatever, because of a heel. And then Gulak, could have led into the match being like, I fought, so hard against the people here, and the fans and the WWE universe, but now they've accepted me, so now if I win, I will be a champion for the people, and blah blah blah. You can make it a microcosm of the Get him out of here. Get him. Go. He can go.
He returns at WrestleMania and says, "I'm the true champion."
No. He's not involved at all. I was going to say you can make the whole Gulak TJP thing a microcosm of the election between Clinton and Trump if you wanted to, where everybody's pulling for one candidate to win and the other one just wins. You know?
Is there any Russians on the roster right now?
Rusev.
There you go. Well, there you go. You can have Rusev mingling in the
You have no
match.
Rusev Day in your WrestleMania. What's going on?
He's in the Royal. He's probably going to win the Royal.
You think he's okay? So that's your pick. And for the women's side, who would you have on your fantasy card picking that? I agree with you, by the way, with the Andre the Giant thing with Rusev. If he's in a battle royal for Andre the Giant, I think that would be a good choice. Yes.
For the women's, could always mess her up her last name. 1 second here. She's on NXT right now. Shayna Baszler.
Oh, Baszler. Okay. Yeah.
I think Baszler gets the next night after NXT. She doesn't win the women's title. She comes up to the roster.
And then shows up on Raw. Maybe she's the one that steps up to Rousey's face next on Raw. Who knows?
Yeah, I think that's a natural feud.
Says I've been in your shadow for so long and blah blah blah. And now it's my time, you know. And you come in and you copy me and blah. Yeah. I think there's ready to be there. Yeah.
They could work a stiff match together.
Sure. Moorhouse, this was awesome. Thanks again for taking the time out to do this. And hey, we'll talk again in a couple of weeks and when the actual card is finalized and get our predictions in and see where we're going with it.
Julio.
Awesome. I'm Kellen Nitro. You can follow Moorhouse on Twitter at the Moorhouse CDN. Let him know what you would do with the current WrestleMania lineup and throw it out the window and send him your fantasy matchups and such, and we'll mock and point at you and laugh at you.
And I'll tell you all that you are wrong without giving any facts.
Exactly. That's kind of our thing. That's what we do. No. I'm at Kellen Nitro on Twitter. You can send them to me too, and I can look through them and that stuff. And I'll be like the teacher. I'll go through it with a red pen and give you a star if I think it's over 90% or something.
Fake news. Fake.
I see you have a snowball mic. I have a snowball mic as well.
Nice.
They are the best mics on the planet, I find.
It was on sale, so I picked it up.
Oh, snowballs are amazing. They're great. So, anyways, later days, happy wrestling watching, and we'll talk to y'all later on. Peace.